On June 4th, 2023, a serious highway collision occurred when a heavy transport truck struck multiple vehicles on a busy route. The footage quickly spread online, prompting experts to call for stronger training and qualification standards for commercial drivers. This event highlights the ongoing need for proper driver education, communication skills, and compliance with transport safety laws. Federal safety regulations require all commercial drivers to understand traffic signs, emergency messages, and safety instructions in English. Steel loading site workers were moving large metal coils. Suddenly, one of the coils started rolling away. A worker nearby tried to stop it using his hands and body, but the coil was too heavy and powerful. This shows why no one should ever try to stop a rolling coil manually. The safe way is to use coil chocks, restraints, or machines to hold them in place. The next footage shows two workers performing maintenance near a large conveyor or roller system. One of them stood on top of the roller, which suddenly started moving. The roller spun quickly, throwing the worker high into the air before he hit the ground and got badly injured. This accident occurred because the machine was not turned off or locked properly. Lockout/tagout rules must always be followed, and no one should ever climb or stand on any moving machine part. Inside a factory, a worker was using a press machine. He placed material inside and started the machine. Then, while it was still moving, he tried to add more material. His hand got too close and was caught by the press. This shows why machine guards and safety controls are very important. Never reach into a machine while it's running. Use interlocks or two-hand controls to stay safe. Taking a few extra seconds to follow proper steps can save lives and prevent serious harm. At another site, a crane was unloading a bundle of steel sheets. As the load reached the ground, the supporting wire suddenly snapped. One of the sheets, still under pressure, bounced back and hit a nearby worker. At a port loading area, a crane truck had just finished its work and was parked close to the harbor edge. Suddenly, the vehicle began to roll forward. Witnesses later confirmed that the operator had not engaged the parking brake. The truck struck a nearby car and continued moving toward the water. Workers quickly ran to safety as the massive vehicle came to a stop, just short of the harbor. It was a narrow escape. The incident demonstrates how one small oversight, like forgetting to apply the parking brake, can lead to major accidents. Operators should always follow complete shutdown procedures. Engage the brake, put the gear in neutral or park, lower equipment, and use wheel chocks if the surface isn't level. At a private shooting range, approximately 1 kilogram of a reactive explosive compound was used for target testing. When the target was hit, the resulting detonation created a massive blast and propelled debris over a wide area. Although no major injuries were reported, the explosion created a serious safety risk. The video sparked public concern and raised questions about whether the testing was being done legally and under proper supervision. Experts later emphasized that such explosive materials are strictly regulated and should only be handled by trained professionals in certified testing environments. In a molding section, one worker started a new machine cycle while another worker came close for inspection. The second worker didn't know the machine was active and stepped inside the work area. The machine continued running, creating a dangerous situation. This shows why lockout-tagout rules are very important. Machines must be fully shut down and locked before any inspection or maintenance. Good communication between operators and inspectors and using warning lights or barrier guards keeps everyone safe in factory environments. The video shows a woman working with a sugarcane juice machine or a roller press. For a moment, she lost focus, and her loose clothes, hair, or hand got caught by the fast-spinning rollers. The machine's strong force instantly pulled her inside, causing severe injuries. This tragedy happened because of two major safety mistakes: lack of attention and missing guards on the moving parts. Machines with rotating parts must always be covered with proper guards, and operators should avoid loose clothing or untied hair. Focus and safety checks are the first line of defense against such accidents. In another factory area, a worker was using a remote control to operate an overhead crane carrying heavy steel rolls. The movement was smooth at first, but while lowering the roll, the supporting wire rope suddenly broke. The huge roll dropped just a few inches away from the operator. Thankfully, he stepped back in time. This is a strong reminder that all lifting parts, ropes, hooks, and chains, must be inspected before every use. Workers should never stand close to the drop zone when handling heavy loads. Staying alert and maintaining safe distances keeps lifting operations safe and under control. Inside a temporary event setup area, a worker was adjusting blue divider panels, likely preparing for a function. Suddenly, one of the frames lost balance and tipped over, striking the adjacent panel. Within seconds, several partitions fell in a domino effect and collapsed to the floor. Investigators found that none of the dividers had sandbags, anchors, or weights to keep them stable. Temporary structures such as display booths, curtains, and backdrops must always be properly supported. Stability is the first rule of safety. Without it, even a small push can cause a large collapse. In a separate occurrence, a crane truck was driving with its boom arm still raised. As it approached an entry gate, the boom collided with the overhead structure. The impact was violent, the gate shattered, and debris scattered across the area. Though no one was injured, both the gate and crane sustained significant damage. This highlights the need for proper pre-operation and post-operation checks. Failing to lower a boom, retract an outrigger, or secure a load before moving can result in costly accidents or severe injuries. The next footage shows a dangerous act of horseplay in a workplace. One worker was resting on a pallet while another, as a prank, used a forklift to lift him. The pallet tilted, throwing the worker to the concrete floor from a height and causing serious injuries. Forklifts are meant to carry materials, not people. Such pranks are never funny. They are life-threatening and completely against workplace safety rules. Using heavy machines for jokes is gross misconduct and can end in tragedy. In a woodworking area, a worker was cutting a wooden sheet with a table saw. After finishing the cut, a small piece of wood was left on the table. When he reached forward to grab it, the piece touched the spinning blade and flew back, hitting him hard. What looked like a simple cleanup turned dangerous. Always wait until the blade completely stops before touching anything near it. Use push sticks or tools to move wood pieces, but never your hands. Proper guards, safe distance, and patience can prevent kickbacks and serious injuries in woodworking. A normal unloading job turned into a serious accident. This reminds us that all lifting tools and wires should be checked often for wear or damage. Workers should never stand close to hanging loads, because if something breaks, the movement can be sudden and dangerous. Only trained rigging staff should stay nearby when lifting is in progress.